Chapter 1. The clone wakes to the hiss of pressurized air and the sterile sting of antiseptic. Their eyes snap open, pupils dilating under the harsh white lights of the incubation chamber. A countdown glows on the wall, 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 47 seconds. They know this number intimately. It's etched into their synapses, a death sentence disguised as a clock. They sit up, synthetic skin prickling under the lab's artificial chill. Around them, rows of identical chambers hum, each cradling a motionless clone, same face, same vacant stare. The clone touches their own cheek, half expecting their fingers to phase through flesh, real, for now. A technician in a gray biosuit strides into the room, visor obscuring their face. Cycle 9487, they bark, voice filtered through a respirator. Report to Sector C. The clone obeys, stepping onto a conveyor belt that whisks them through the facility. The walls are seamless silver, branded with the logo of the conglomerate that owns them, Nexagen Biostock. In Sector C, the clone is handed a mop. Their task, scrub protein slurry off the floors. They glance at the clones beside them, blank faces, mechanical movements. One clone catches their eye. This one hesitates, mop trembling in their grip. Their lips part as if to speak. BZZT. A shock collar on the clone's neck activates. They collapse, convulsing. The technician watches, dispassionate. Focus on your duties, they say. You're replaceable. The clone grips their mop tighter. Replaceable. The word gnaws at them. They glance at the clock, 16 hours, 22 minutes, and 11 seconds. That night, in the recycling chamber, the clone watches as the expired clones are dissolved into pink slurry. A drone injects the clone with sedatives. As consciousness fades, they think, tomorrow I won't care, but today I do. Chapter 2. The next morning, the clone wakes again. Same chamber, same countdown, 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds. A new technician, younger, with a tremor in their voice, hooks electrodes to the clone's temples. Memory wipe in 5, they say. The clone's throat tightens. Why? The technician freezes. No clone asks questions. You're not real, they stammer. Just a copy. Accept your purpose. The clone's fingers dig into the exam table. I feel real. The technician hesitates, then taps a button. The clone's mind floods with static, yesterday's memories disintegrating. But this time, something sticks. A flicker, their own hands covered in slurry, trembling with rage. When the static clears, the clone seizes the technician's wrist. What am I a copy of? The technician pales. You're a labor asset, nothing more. They yank free and flee. The clone stares at their reflection in the chamber's glass. Copy. The word feels wrong. They press a palm to the glass, half expecting it to shatter. Later, in the cafeteria, clones eat in silence. Nutrient paste, gray and tasteless. The clone sits beside the one who hesitated yesterday. Their neck is raw from the shock collar. Why did you try to speak? The clone whispers. The other clone doesn't look up. Don't ask questions. But we're alive, aren't we? The other clone's spoon clatters. We're products. Products get recycled. They stand, voice hollow. Stop fighting. It's easier. The clone watches them leave. On the wall, the clock ticks 18 hours, 4 minutes, and 22 seconds. What does it mean to exist if you're disposable? Chapter 3, Days blur. Wake, work, dissolve. Repeat. The clone scrubs floors, hauls crates, endures shocks. But glitches pierce the monotony. A flash of a city skyline they've never seen. The smell of rain, though the facility is airtight. A voice in their head, laughing. Not their own. They stash these fragments like contraband. One morning, during a memory wipe, the clone fights the static. They focus on the skyline, the rain, the laugh, crack. Pain splits their skull. The technician curses. Defective batch, always glitching. The clone gasps. What's outside? The technician slams a sedative into their neck. Nothing for you. But that night, in the recycling chamber, the clone claws at the drone. Wait, the drone pins them, needle glinting. The clone's last thought, the laugh. Who is laughing? The next cycle, the clone wakes with a fresh glitch. A name, Je. Just an initial seared into their mind. They're assigned to data entry. Endless spreadsheets. But as they type, their fingers stall. The screen flickers. A security feed slips into view. A woman walks through a sunlit park smiling. Her face is theirs, the clone freezes. J, the feed cuts. A supervisor looms. Eyes on your work. The clone types mechanically, heart racing. She's alive. The original is alive. At lunch, they find the clone with the shock burns. I saw her, they whisper. The human we're copied from. She's alive. The other clone stiffens. Delete that thought now. Why? Because if they know you're glitching, they'll shred you early. The clone leans closer, voice fraying. They'll make a new copy, a compliant one, and you'll just be slurry. The clock ticks 14 hours, 11 minutes, and 9 seconds. The clone says nothing, but that night, as the sedatives take hold, they mouth the letter J. Chapter 4, Cycle 9488. The clone is assigned to archive deleted files. The terminal hums, its screen reflected in their eyes. A folder blinks, redacted source material, prototype J. They open it. Security footage plays. The woman, J, strapped to a chair, screaming as machines scan her. A CEO's voiceover. With her DNA, we'll perfect the labor model. No rights, no rebellion, just product. The clone's hands shake. Product. Another file, live feed. Subject J. The woman sits in a cafe, alive, free, sipping coffee. A date stamps the screen, today. The clone stands so fast their chair clatters. A supervisor turns. Problem? No, the clone muters. But inside, a storm brews. She's out there, living. While I, at midnight, as drones prepare to recycle them, the clone does something reckless. They grab a scalpel from a tray and slash at the drone. Sparks fly, alarms blare. Technicians swarm. The clone is tackled, sedated, dragged to the recycling chamber. The lead scientist examines them. Pity. This batch showed promise. The clone spits blood. Go to hell, the scientist smiles. You'll be replaced by sunrise. As the chamber fills with acid, the clone's final thought isn't fear, it's fury. I'll make you remember me. Chapter 5, Cycle 9489. The clone wakes, same chamber, same clock. But now, the glitches are stronger. They remember. In the cafeteria, they find the shock-burned clone. They're lying to us, they whisper. The original's alive. We're slaves. The other clone grips their arm. Stop. You'll get us both shredded. What if we fought, sabotaged the systems, and then what? We're deleted at midnight either way. The clone slams their fist on the table. Then we make midnight matter. Clones turn to stare. The shock-burned clone flees. Alone, the clone studies the facility's vents, the guard patrols, the flickering cameras. At their workstation, they accidentally spill coffee on a terminal. The screen dies, but not before they memorize the wiring. That afternoon, a technician drops a key card. The clone swipes it, heart pounding. Access granted, communications hub. They return the card. The technician, the young, nervous one, eyes them. You're different, they murmur. So are you, the clone says. You hate this place too. The technician hesitates. Transmissions go offline at 11:50 p.m. 10-minute window. They walk away quickly. The clone stares at the clock. 20 hours, 32 minutes, and 17 seconds. 10 minutes. One message. What's worth dying for? Chapter 6. The clone stares at the key card in their hand, its edges biting into their palm. The technician's words echo. Transmissions go offline at 11:50 p.m. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. To scream into the void. They slip into a supply closet, heart thudding like a malfunctioning engine. A guard patrols the hallway outside, boots clanking. The clone's eyes dart to the ceiling vent, rusted, barely wide enough. They hoist themselves up, muscles straining, and crawl through the duct. Dust coats their lungs. Below, the guard pauses, radio crackling, Sector D breach. All units respond. The clone freezes. Sector D, the recycling chamber. They're shredding another batch early. Their jaw tightens. Focus. Get to the comms hub. Subscribe to our channel for part 2.